What I do in this video is pretty dumb, and I would not blame you if you decided you did not want to continue watching. Why would I commit this crime against nature? Why would I absolutely toast the living out of this totally innocent 200 box speed film just for sport? Well, it turns out it actually wasn't that bad. Okay, so it's not great, but there's like 2 interesting photos out of this set. And the biggest problem with Harman Phoenix 200 is the same thing I've seen in a lot of the videos I've watched with people who shoot it at appropriate speed, which is that the shadows don't contain that much detail. The shadow detail is kind of lost at the 200 box speed or even 100 from what I've seen. There's just not that much information in the shadows, which means pushing it to 800 means there's going to be even less information in the shadows. And I've got to praise Kyle McDougall for a second, who used his superpower of absolute precision to make Harman Phoenix 200 look amazing. He's probably gotten the best results out of this film that I've seen. So I believe with a steady hand, Harman Phoenix can be a really effective, really cool film stock. But you don't come to double negative for Kyle McDougall-esque precision. We're out here swinging a hammer in a glass factory. Precision, excellence, that's not how we roll. We are shooting this 200 speed film in no light for almost no reason at all, just to watch the world burn. And burn it did, because these photos are just too dark. Just largely, they're too dark. And sure, any 200 speed film would struggle to have a raw file amount of information in the shadows when you push it to 800, but this one definitely doesn't want to give you anything at all. So what was I doing? Basically, the city I live in hires me out to take photos of city events from time to time. So I was taking photos of the town Christmas tree lighting. So I spent the event dual wielding Halo 2 style.
Overkill.
My Sony a7 IV and my Nikon FE with Harman Phoenix, now 800, loaded in. When I showed up to town, there was an incredible sunset, and it was beautiful twilight and sunset, and there was some pretty light out. And so I got a couple photos that are really cool and really interesting, and I really like them. I would say that sunsets are probably the true strength of this film. Now, again, I haven't seen my results from shooting it at box speed. I did behave later and shoot a regular roll at box speed just to see what would happen, but I have not sent that to the lab yet, so I have no clue. But just know I'm not a total maniac. But Harman Phoenix seems to be killer with sunsets, even at 800 ISO. So next time I buy another roll of this film, I'll probably save it for the next time I head to the grocery store for a parking lot sunset. And I'll be real with you, I'm pretty happy that there's a new color film released. I feel like I've been negative in the beginning of this video, and trust me, I'm not down on this film stock at all. I do think it's pretty interesting. I personally do not get excited about 200 speed films. So I like higher ISO films because I tend to be shooting closer toward the end of the day in lower light a lot of the time. So I'm just not in that many situations, I feel like, where I can even shoot a low ISO film. I just don't like having my hands tied in that way. So that's why I decided to push this film with reckless abandon. I just wanted to see what would happen. I was just curious. So did this experiment work? I would say not really. I mean, it kind of did. I think I would not recommend shooting this film at night. I would definitely push Harman Phoenix to 800 again, as long as I have enough light, a cool sunset, and I'm shooting directly into the sky. Pushing to 400 might be a little safer and might be kind of interesting, actually. But this film suffers from a lack of detail in general, which is kind of a bummer, especially for a low ISO film, which you kind of tend to think of as sharper because it has less grain and noise. But I think there's some cool applications to be had with abstract or double exposure photography with this film, just because of the cool look and colors. $13.99 on a roll of film that is not a high ISO film. It's kind of tough for me. And I'm sure the price may go down on this film as it gets adopted more and as they work out the bugs a little bit more. But for now, it's a tough sell when I could just get a roll of Lomo 800 or Cinestill 800T and enjoy it more. But hey, let me know what you think about the crime I've committed here in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram at Will Malone. You can follow my Polaroid account and my Polaroid 365 at RoidRage72 on Instagram. And please subscribe if you like committing senseless photo crimes just as much as I do.